Welcome back to McNulty's Book Corral, and we're off and running. All right, so today we're going to do some science fiction. I haven't done science fiction in a while, and I wanted to go back, and I think I mentioned one of these books before. My introduction to Fred Hoyle, who was an astronomer, was this Fawcett paperback book from the early 70s, October the 1st is Too Late. I think I showed you this paperback in a previous episode early on. I want to discuss Fred Hoyle today. Now, Fred Hoyle, I read this, and this is one of my favorite science fiction books. Fred Hoyle was an astronomer. He was highly regarded in his field. He was not without controversy, but there's even a statue of him in England. So Fred Hoyle was an astronomer, a real scientist who went and wrote science fiction. I have but a small spattering of his books. He wrote many, many books. Some of them later on were with co-authors and so forth. This is my favorite. October the 1st is Too Late. What do you mean it's your favorite? I mean it's my favorite that I own 2 copies of the hardcover first edition. That's what I mean by favorite. So, in addition to the Fawcett paperback, and I probably should own a dozen of the Fawcett paperback. And so, this was Harper and Row, New York. It was published, and so this book was first published in 1966. October the 1st is Too Late by Fred Hoyle, one of my all-time favorite science fiction novels. It involves the nature of time, fractured time, not necessarily time travel, I wouldn't call it that, but that type of thing. And it's really good. So another book that I like, I think this was his first book, and this is The Black Cloud. And I think, is there a picture of him on here? There's not a picture of him on here. The Black Cloud is about this cloud that comes from outer space, and the astronomers see it and how that's going to affect life on Earth. Hoyle was a scientist, so he didn't write in the grand tradition of pulps. He wrote in the tradition of an intelligent scientific man who's stating his thesis. So for fans of pulp fiction such as myself, the writing can be a little dry, similar to Arthur C. Clarke. However, Arthur C. Clarke kind of could go off on some grand pulp-style adventures. Hoyle does that. He surprises you, but the style is a little more, let's just call it steadfast and even. I like it. This is a great book, too. This is my second favorite Fred Hoyle book, which is The Black Cloud from whatever year this was. This was probably, I think, in the 50s. I'm not sure. 57. So Fred Hoyle was around a long time, and that's fun stuff. So another one is Element 79, and there is a photo of Fred Hoyle right here. Take a look at that. This is a collection of short stories. This might be a good introduction for those of you that have not read Fred Hoyle. I would actually recommend these 3 books if you're not sure what to get. He wrote many, many others, and start with October the 1st is Too Late, if you can find it, or The Black Cloud as the second choice, and then Element 79, which is an acclaimed collection of short stories. Fred Hoyle takes us to space and back, and across the vistas of time with October the 1st is Too Late, one of the all-time great, compelling science fiction novel. So when they talk about science fiction was always intended to be the literature of ideas. In the 1950s, it was marketed as such, and it stayed that way, through the 70s, and then things kind of changed. I don't know what they do with science fiction today, because I find most of it on the market unreadable. I'm going to come back to that topic later on when I pick some modern authors that I like, and I'll discuss those books. But there's something to be said for this old school stuff from the 50s and 60s. And there's Fred Hoyle all the way. October the 1st is Too Late. What a great place to start. Or The Black Cloud, Fred Hoyle. I recommend. So I wanted to get a little bit out there for Fred Hoyle. Stay well, stay happy, feed your brain, and read a book.